Jake whispered to the clock, sweat dripping from his brow as he rushed to clean the last table at the diner. The rain outside hadn't stopped in hours, and neither had the ache in his back. He'd been working double shifts all week, anything to keep the lights on for his little girl, Emma. At only 6 years old, she already knew what past due meant. Jake had promised her pancakes for dinner that night, the kind with smiley faces. He always kept his promises. But life rarely returned the favor. As Jake grabbed his coat and stepped into the freezing downpour, he didn't expect to become a hero. He spotted the boy on the bench outside the bus station, shivering, soaked to the bone, and alone. Jake paused. Most people would have walked by, maybe whispered, "Poor kid," and kept going. But something in the boy's eyes, terrified, wide, pleading, struck a chord too deep to ignore. Jake had seen that same look in Emma's eyes when her mother left without a word 2 years ago. "Hey, buddy," Jake said gently, kneeling beside the boy. "You okay? You lost." The boy flinched but didn't move. His tiny lips quivered. I can't find my daddy." Jake pulled off his jacket and wrapped it around the child. "What's your name?" "Liam." "Well, Liam, let's get you somewhere warm. You can tell me everything, okay?" Jake brought Liam back to his tiny apartment, one bedroom, cracked walls, but warm. Emma ran to the door in her pajama onesie, teddy bear in hand. "Daddy, who's that?" Jake smiled, even though his heart was racing. "This is Liam. He got lost. We're going to help him find his way home." Emma stepped forward and held out her teddy. "He can borrow Mr. Fuzzy tonight." Jake's throat tightened. Even with so little, his daughter always found a way to give. That night, the three of them sat on the worn-out couch, eating smiley-face pancakes and watching cartoons on Jake's old laptop. For a moment, everything felt okay. Liam didn't say much. Just that he'd been with a babysitter who lost him at the mall. No phone, no address. Just a little boy who missed his dad. The next morning, Jake called the police and reported a found child. They thanked him, told him they'd investigate, and asked him to care for Liam a little longer. No one had claimed him yet, and they were overwhelmed. Days passed. Jake's savings dwindled. He had to skip shifts to stay home with both kids. The landlord knocked, reminding him rent was due. Emma got sick, and the pharmacy wouldn't fill the prescription without payment up front. He sat on the bathroom floor that night, head in hands. "I can't do this," he whispered to the dark. "I'm trying so hard." From behind the door, Liam's small voice said, "You're doing great." Jake opened the door. Liam stood there in Jake's oversized hoodie. "You make me feel safe," he said. "I think you're a superhero." Jake scooped him up and cried into the boy's shoulder. On the 5th day, a black SUV pulled up outside the apartment complex. 2 men in suits stepped out. The taller one looked around like he didn't belong anywhere that wasn't marble and gold. "Jake Reynolds," one asked. Jake braced himself. "Yeah." The taller man stepped forward. His eyes were red-rimmed, desperate. Then they softened the moment he saw Liam peeking from behind Jake. "Liam!" he shouted, dropping to his knees. The boy's face lit up, and he ran into his father's arms. "I thought I lost you," the man cried, clutching his son like life itself. "I'm so sorry, buddy. I'll never let you out of my sight again." Jake stood frozen. The man stood and reached out a hand. "I'm Andrew Whitmore." Jake blinked. The name rang a bell. "Wait. Whitmore. As in Whitmore Enterprises?" "Yes," Andrew said, smiling through tears. "Liam is my son." Jake nearly stumbled back. Whitmore Enterprises was everywhere: tech, real estate, pharmaceuticals. Andrew Whitmore was a billionaire. The next day, the world knew the story. News vans outside the diner. Paparazzi. Headlines. Single father rescues billionaire's son from the streets. From broke to blessed, the kindness that changed everything. Jake didn't ask for anything. He just wanted things to go back to normal. But Andrew Whitmore had other plans. A week later, a letter arrived at Jake's apartment. Inside, A full scholarship for Emma to attend the best private school in the city. A job offer for Jake at one of Whitmore's companies, managing a community outreach program. And a handwritten note. You showed my son kindness when you had nothing. You gave him love, safety, and pancakes. You changed his life. Let me help change yours. Andrew. Jake stared at the paper, tears welling again. He'd gone from rock bottom to hope, all because he chose to stop and help a child who needed someone. 1 year later. Jake stood at the podium, clean-shaven, confident, addressing a room full of donors at the new Second Chance Center for struggling single parents, funded by Whitmore Enterprises, run by Jake himself. Emma sat in the front row beside Liam, now best friends. Jake smiled at them. I used to think being strong meant never needing help, he said. But the truth is, strength is choosing kindness, even when you have nothing left. One small act can ripple through lives in ways we can.